Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Being Conscious. From today, we are going to talk about the different portals of consciousness, and one of the key instruments in which one can elevate one's consciousness is through the breath. Now, if you talk about it, if you think about it from a logical standpoint, if I ask you this basic question, that what is it that stays with you from birth to death, what would that answer be? What would your answer be for that question? The answer would be the breath. Think about it from a logical standpoint. If there's only one thing which is there, which is a constant companion from the birth to the death, that is your breath. Your breath is the constant companion. And if you're constantly aware of your breath, you realize that your breath is directly linked to your thought patterns. Have you observed this with some once that whenever you are scared or when you feel threatened, your breathing is automatically shallow? And when you feel exuberant, when you feel good within, your breathing is automatically expansive. Have you ever observed a newborn baby when he breathes? He breathes still the diaphragm. And when he inhales, the stomach comes out, and when he exhales, the stomach goes in. Now, the reason this needs to be addressed because this is probably the most powerful force in the universe. We exist in life. The whole purpose of human civilization, the whole source of life is breath. And most of our nutrition, most of our energy is not derived from food or nutrition. It is derived from this cosmic force called breath. In the Shiv Puran, right, where Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, where it's all about that, there's a particular text which is a conversation between Lord Shiva and Lord Parvati, where Lord Parvati is asking Shiva a lot of questions about the secrets of the universe, and Lord Shiva says that the secret of the universe. So Ma Parvati asks Lord Shiva, what is it that you do? How do you manage reality? Because he is Mahakal, which means he is the ultimate manifestation of all reality. How do you control reality? Is what Ma Parvati asks to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva replies, I don't control reality, I just control the breath of each and every human being. Now, if you think about it, our breath has a direct correlation with our emotions, our thought processes. And as a result of that, because of that thought processes, because of that synchronicity, because of the direct correlation between the breath and the thought process, we are having this kind of a coherence. When our thought process is more pristine and our thought process is more clear, our breathing is naturally rhythmic, it's more diaphragmatic. But when we are in the state of stress, anxiety, panic, fear, the breathing is shallow. Now, this is what I wanted to tell you. And Lord Shiva says, and there's another point which I would like to highlight in this context, what is the biggest source of strength in this universe? And Lord Shiva replies, Kumbhakam Sarvabalam, which means the whole secrets of the universe, the whole strength of the universe exists in the ability to retain breath. Have you ever wondered if you ever lift weight, you automatically hold breath? Now, what does this tell you? It tells you that the ability to hold your breath for longer times gives you more strength, gives you more power. It gives you mental resilience. When you hold your breath, the ability to stop your thought process is intense. But if you're not able to hold your breath for long, start small. Think big, but act now, is what I would like to say. Because the greater your breath retention capacity becomes, the greater your emotional maturity becomes. And the greater the emotional maturity becomes, the more precise your understanding of things is, the more cleaner and sharper your perception is. That is what I would like to say, that mental resilience is directly proportional to your ability to hold your breath. Now, what are the most secrets, right? If you have ever wondered, if you have ever carefully noticed, there are two pathways through which we take the breath. The right hand side of our nostril corresponds to the sympathetic nervous system, and the left hand side corresponds to the parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for all the healing activities in the brain, all the repair mechanisms in the brain. Whereas the sympathetic nervous system, it is responsible for the fight and flight response. And when we are sleeping, right, when we want to sleep, that is where we would like to have this parasympathetic nervous system activated. Now, as per traditional folklore, the nostrils, the two nostrils which govern our sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, they are ruled by sun and moon, right? And so these are the celestial objects, and in Ayurveda it is called the Ida Nadi and the Pingala Nadi. And when you are able to understand the flow of the breath, the way you are breathing, when you are able to observe with a lot of dexterity, with a lot of awareness, which breath is moving in and out, that level of fidelity, that level of observation will tell you what is the rhythm of your current state of consciousness. If you are in a state of anxiety, most likely your right nostril is active. And the way to curb that anxiety is to block your right nostril and to inhale through your left nostril. This is a whole encyclopedia of information by itself, which doesn't need to be revealed in this short video. But I would like to emphasize this topic of breath, because this topic of breath is extremely important and extremely significant. If you look at any spiritual practice, all spiritual practices are coming through the breath. The whole premise of spirituality is monitored through breathing exercises. If you look at any spiritual school of thought, whether it's the Art of Living or the Inner Engineering program, they all have certain powerful breathing exercises ingrained in the schools, in their respective schools. So the reason breathing is so pivotal and so instrumental is because every thought has a certain breathing pattern. And when you can change your breathing pattern, you change your reality, you change your perception, you change your thoughts. So that is the power of breathing. That is the power of emotional regulation, how directly breathing correlates with thought process and emotional regulation. Also, one thing to notice, when you have a powerful breathing architecture inbuilt, your mind is more clear, your mind is more powerful, clarity is there within you. And when you have more consciousness in your system, when you have more consciousness developed within your system, in your thought process, you can easily take decisions. You can maneuver decisions, you can take the right decisions at the appropriate time. Your level of focus and concentration is at the peak. You are not distracted easily. The level of concentration, the level of focus is so high that nothing can distract you. That is the power of breath. When you are power of breath, when you are able to tap into the potential of breath, magic happens. We will talk more about the different breathing exercises and how different dimensions of this breath have a direct impact. But for now, remember that the Ida Nadi, which is basically your parasympathetic nervous system, is the left hemisphere, and the left nostril controls your right brain and your right nostril controls your left brain. So these two brains are controlled by these two channels, these two nostrils. When these two nostrils are balanced and in coherence, you can see optimum performance. And it is ideal to say that in the morning time, Ida Nadi needs to be active, and in the night time, it's the Pingala Nadi which needs to be active. Because if these two nadis are active, that is when the synchronicity, you are in cosmic alignment, you are in a full concept of cosmic synchronicity and alignment, which makes your body and mind processes to function in harmony. I hope my video was helpful. Hope we had a good introduction of what the Ida and the Pingala Nadi means and how Swar Vigyan really helps one have a direct manifestation of our thought processes. Because remember, breath is directly correlated with thoughts and thoughts is directly correlated with breath. So when your thoughts are in proper proportion, when your breath is steady, your mind is steady. And the steady mind is most powerful instrument in the world. There is no powerful instrument, there is no greater instrument which is more powerful than the human mind. Thank you so much and I'll meet you in the next video. Bye.